It's the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Conowingo Dam. The dam was constructed in 1928. It wasn't constructed by Exelon Energy Corporation, but it's currently owned by them today. It sits on the Susquehanna River in Maryland. A little about the river is that it provides 90% of the fresh water towards the bay and 50% of the overall of the water. So it's a very important river in terms of the bay's health. The dam itself provides hydroelectricity to the surrounding area and the community. Now, the dam has very good reputation among the income and the economy of the area. It provides a recreational area which brings about $40 million in a year through just tourism and recreation, such as fishing, boating, other stuff as the sort. It also provides jobs to the local area. It 60 employees just to maintain it, but when it was first being built, it took thousands. It provides clean electricity to the area as well. No smog or waste products, just for the power of the river. It provides 572 megawatts. A single megawatt can provide 1,000 homes electricity for a year. It also regulates water usage in the surrounding area, such as during dry season, it regulates water when it's being used the most, and it prevents pollution towards the bay. As we'll talk about later, the river's watershed is rather large, spanning in areas of Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and New York, high pollution area, and the bay blocks 2% of the nitrogen, 40% of the phosphorus, and 70% of the sediment that comes from those areas, and keeps them from going into the bay. Very good dam indeed. However, there are some bad qualities about the dam. It had to flood the town just to be constructed. A whole town had to move and relocate just so this dam would be built. Destruction of Native American history also had to be endured, such as petroglyphs and cave dwellings. The railroads also had to be relocated for the dam, and American shad are blocked by the dam to going upstream for migration. However, in the eyes of the community, all the bad was greatly outweighed by the good. So they tolerated it, and it was their good dam, until an uglier problem arose. It was found that pollution from these areas that was being blocked from going into the bay was not just going away, it was being built up. And when the floodgates opened during events of high pressure on the dam, such as hurricanes in 1972 and 2004, the water and thus pollution had to be released. No one thought of it before, but the effects were definitely seen. It is also often referred as a ticking time bomb. This graphic from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation shows the problems of the Conowingo Dam, such as the pollution increases in the Susquehanna due to urban centers, the pollution builds up behind the dam and thus more gets through. What is the pollution? The main concern is phosphorus. Phosphorus is the 15th element on the periodic table, and it is considered a nutrient in the water. It creates algae blooms. As we know, algae blooms are when an influx of nutrients comes into the water. Algae consume this nutrient and they grow into large populations. However, when they die, they use up all the oxygen in the water decomposing and creates dead zones where no life can live. Phosphorus also has a negative effect on humans. They can be as small as the liver and kidney problems, but in too much amounts it can cause death. But what are these dead zones? What do they do? They look like this. These are the algae blooms. And with the Conowingo Dam, as the ticking time bomb goes on, we can see areas look like this and this. So how much do we need to worry about? Well, about each year, 2 million tons of sediment carrying about 17,000 1,750 pounds of phosphorus comes in. That's not too bad. That can be managed with. But we have to keep in mind, this dam's been open since 1928. As we can see, as each year goes by, they stack up. The USGS recently did a survey and they found that 174 million tons of sediment is currently behind the dam, with about 1,300,000 tons of phosphorus. This is huge. But how much is too much? When do we really need to worry? Well, also found out by the USGS, we are quickly approaching the maximum sediment capacity the dam can handle. From 1928 to 1996, it's closely approaching. Now in 2016, how close are we? Well, with 174 million tons of sediment behind the dam right now, it is found that the dam can handle 204 million tons. So that only leaves 30 million tons of sediment that it can handle. The USGS also found that means 15 to 20 years we need to worry. Only 15 to 20 years we can find a solution. But what solutions are available to us? Can this problem be solved? Well, the USGS and the Chesapeake Bay Foundation offered a solution. It was simply to decrease the pollution in the watershed. By doing so, less runoff, less pollution, less sediment, less phosphorus behind the dam. This diagram that we saw earlier also shows what the Chesapeake Bay Foundation wants to do to work with the Chesapeake Clean Water Blueprint. In effectiveness, the pollution of the Susquehanna would decrease, and thus less sediment and less phosphorus behind the bay and behind the dam and less in the bay. Along with this, they also want to implement total maximum daily loads in agricultural areas. This means less runoff into the river and into the watershed. However, many people criticize this solution, saying even if we implement these, it would not be enough to stop the ticking time bomb of the dam. Another solution that is recommended is manually removing the sediment behind the dam. However, this has also been criticized, saying even if we move 2 million tons of sediment behind the dam every year, that would only be enough to keep up with the inflow of pollution. People have offered perhaps mixing these two plans, but the one problem is that policymakers are having with this is that it will be expensive either way. And another problem with manually removing the sediment is where to put it, much like with nuclear waste. So no matter what solution we have, if we do not do something about it, this site might become all too common in the Chesapeake Bay. Thank you.